About a year ago, remember how all the papers came out with this story that $80 million worth of jewelry was missing from the royal family collection? So then there was this article in The Guardian which says official jewelry gifts to royals worth 80 million are not in national collection. Palace refusing to explain why official state gifts worn by Princess of Wales and Camilla are not in the royal collection. Remember that? That was by a guy named David Pegg in the Guardian, and it was in all of the papers, all of them, Daily Mail, Independent, Mirror, everybody was talking about it. It was just 1 year ago. I don't know. Do you have any idea whatever happened to the story? I never heard of the follow up, whether those jewels were recovered. It's one thing to tell everybody, oh, all these jewel pieces of jewelry are missing, but then not clear it up when they have actually found that jewel or those jewels. And it just leaves sort of a suspicion or, a sort of taint of suspicion on the people. It says here that Buckingham Palace is refusing to explain why 11 pieces of jewelry, potentially worth 80 million pounds, okay? In dollars, you're looking at more like $95 million. 95 million, I said, almost enough to pay Trump's bond in his civil suit brought by the state of New York. So potentially worth 80 million pounds that were official gifts to the royal family are not held in a trove of national heritage. The jewels, which have been worn by Queen Elizabeth II, Camilla, the Queen Consort, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are not contained in the royal collection, the custodian of culturally significant items held in trust for the nation. Ooh, so then it basically, are they suggesting that one of these women have kept or has kept these jewels for her personal collection as opposed to putting them in trust for the nation? The pieces include a set of aquamarine jewelry, four brooches, and six necklaces, including an extraordinary Cartier necklace of emerald and brilliant cut diamonds worth at least 40 million pounds. Whoa. Given to the late queen by an Indian prince. Wow, that's an expensive piece of jewelry. I mean, to put it in context, I mean, maybe it's insensitive for me to do that, and I don't mean to suggest any connection to anything, but I'm just saying, when you consider that Kate's parents are bankrupt and they need 300,000 pounds, just 300,000 pounds to pay their solicitor, and I think their creditors, they need 2 million pounds to pay off their creditors and get back, get their business back into the red, or into the black, I should say, into the black, because in the red is bad. So really, I mean, for 2.5 million, they can be out of trouble, and you have one piece of jewelry, a Cartier necklace of emerald and brilliant cut diamonds that's worth 50 million pounds that's missing. And one of the three people who wore it was Queen Elizabeth, Camilla, the Queen Consort, and Catherine, Princess of Wales. And so you have to wonder, because I remember this came out around the time of the bankruptcy, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, whether these papers were trying to suggest something nefarious here, and whether they have actually found these pieces of jewelry, and why haven't they updated this article to inform the public that in fact the jewelry has been replaced into the national trove, and that it wasn't a theft or anything like that. Because when you have different things happening at the same time, and it could make somebody look guilty when they're not, I think it's important to clarify, honestly. So at least four of the items were presented by heads of state. The palace's policy states that as a general rule, gifts to the sovereign from another monarch or head of state automatically become part of the royal collection, a body that manages items held by the sovereign in trust for the nation. Hmm. It says here that the Royal Collection Trust, which manages the collection, confirmed that it does not have custody of the 11 jewels. Hmm. How would they have found out about this unless somebody in the palace told them? I mean, is there it had to be someone in the palace who squealed and ratted and snitched to say that, well, someone has the jewels and they're not happy about it, so they throw that person under the bus. A Buckingham Palace spokesperson declined multiple invitations to explain the current ownership of the 11 pieces. They suggested the royals do not regard the jewelry as their private property and that the items which were given to the late Queen between 1947 and 1979 may in the future be added to the royal collection. Okay, so it means that they have it, but it's not like they stole it. It's just that they have it, they're holding on to it, and then they in the future could decide to add it to the royal collection. It says here, quote, official gifts are not the personal property of the member of the royal family who receives them, but may be held by the sovereign in right of the crown or designated in due course as part of the royal collection. Okay, so it may be held by the king. Okay, the spokesperson said they declined to explain why the items were not already in the royal collection. That's very interesting. It says here, among the gifts identified are pieces of jewelry given to the Queen at her wedding in 1947 and at her coronation a few years later. So all of this happened after the Queen died. Shortly thereafter, there must have been some kind of a grab for the jewelry. Who was going to wear the jewelry? Was it going to be Camilla or was it going to be Kate? And someone of them decided it would be that her, and the other one must not have been very pleased about it, and maybe her camp is the one that ratted out the other one to the press. I don't know which one that would be. By far the most valuable is the Nizam of Hyderabad diamond necklace, crafted in its original configuration by Cartier in 1935 and later reset. The necklace contains more than 300 platinum set diamonds, including a detachable double drop pendant. It was bought in 1947 as a wedding present for the then Princess Elizabeth by Mir Osman Ali Khan, the last ruler of the state of Hyderabad in India. Wow. It's an exceptional jewel. Where is it? Oh, okay. Catherine, the then Duchess of Cambridge, pictured in 2014 wearing the necklace given to Queen Elizabeth II by the Nizam. So it almost sounds like they were trying to throw Catherine under the bus. It almost sounds like it was Camilla's team at her, Buckingham Palace, because in my opinion, this can only be one of the two of them who has the jewels, unless they're saying an employee has taken the jewels, which is possible. That is possible. But why picture Catherine and in such an unflattering photo, no less? No wonder she's like, you know what, screw this. I'm not doing any more public engagements because, I mean, this is like, this is not a flattering facial picture of Catherine, right? And it's very incriminating. And it's like a lot of money. And then her parents are bankrupt. So people are going to speculate. And if she didn't take it on purpose or whatever, she could be very, like, I'm not going to sit here and defend Catherine, but I'm just saying, what's up with this? It is one of the late Queen's most elaborate diamond necklaces and one she wore regularly. It has also been worn by Catherine, now the Princess of Wales, including at a gala of the National Portrait Gallery in 2014. Wow. Sarah Abe, a gemologist and jewelry merchant who estimated the value of several items for The Guardian, said that the necklace could be worth more than £4 million before considering its association with the British royal family. Hmm. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. She said that her estimate did not take into account the royal premium, which can dramatically inflate the sale value of an item and could make this necklace worth at least 40 million. Wow. So whatever happened to this story? Because you know why I thought of it is because um I just saw today that King Charles bought some more jewels for Camilla, you know? And yeah, I mean, cause notice, did they show us any with Camilla? There were no pictures here of Camilla in the jewels. So this was a hit piece. This was definitely a hit piece against Kate. I never thought about it, but now I think I have to conclude this was a hit piece. Somebody threw her under the bus, and her, you know, long hiatus from work could being the operative word, conditional, I don't know, speculation, okay? Just, commentary could have to do with stuff like this. It's probably an amalgamation of issues, a totality of circumstances, but something like this could not have endeared her to the job, right? So this is the article that inspired this video because I read this today that King Charles III tracked down a 44,000 royal heirloom for Queen Camilla's personal jewelry collection. Notice the difference. This is her personal collection and not that for the nation. The monarch gifted his wife the Keppel tiara, which has reportedly become one of her favorites. And that was written yesterday at 12:18 p.m. So, yeah. I guess he loved her. What can I tell you? What can I tell you, people? He loved this woman. End of discussion. And I guess she loved him. Um so anyway, it says here, throughout their 19-year marriage, King Charles III has gifted his wife, Queen Camilla, countless pieces of jewelry. Although she has a, this is from brides.com. Although she has a substantial collection, many of her most worn items that she reaches for time and time again belong to her great-great-grandmother, Alice Capel, the mistress of Charles's great-great-grandfather, King Edward VIII. According to London-based jeweler Stephen Stone's online publication, Chris Cut Magazine, which was reported on April 9, 2024, Charles finds humor in the connection, so he's on a mission to buy Keppel's entire jewelry collection for Camilla. Whoa. Excuse us. Excuse us. Okay. So, yeah, I don't think that it was Camilla who was the target of that inquiry last year about the 80 million pounds of missing jewelry. My big question is, since William and Kate are so sort of litigious and sensitive and so on, how come they did not push back on that article? Because I just got through with the other video about them pushing back at Tatler for saying just total nonsense about them, right? Just complete nonsense. They pushed back at Tatler. But all these papers write this hit piece. Only Kate is featured in the article, showing her wearing this $40 million necklace that they say is missing. Clearly, this is about her. There are only three women in question: Queen Elizabeth, who's dead, Camilla, and Kate. Camilla is not picture is not in the article. Only Kate is in the article wearing the necklace, and they're saying it's gone missing. No follow-up articles have been written, okay, at all. And now we have Kate on this weird and long hiatus. Parents are bankrupt. The royal family has refused to assist them with the bankruptcy and paying off the debts or anything like that. She's on this weird long hiatus, claiming that she has, that cancer had been found at one point and that she's taking preventative chemotherapy, which doesn't really add up given that her own father-in-law right here, he's pushing 80, he has pancreatic cancer and he continues on. Her aunt-in-law, Fergie, Duchess of York, has breast cancer and skin cancer and whatever else she has. She's continuing on. But it seems like Kate is just like, she's just on, I mean, in my opinion, it's like she's on strike, right? That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I hope I still have a right to an opinion, right? And so I'm saying to myself, that was just last year that they had this weird explosion of articles about $80 million. Do you understand $80 million in just in jewelry that's missing? I mean, Kate's parents owe $2 million. You're talking about $80 million in jewelry that's gone missing, right? And these people who ran this story never cleared this woman's name to this day, to my knowledge, right? So where's the jewelry?